I'm Mark Harmon, and to the left hand side of me is Aoife O'Connor.
Today myself and Mark are standing at the remaining site of what used to be called O'Devney Gardens.
And what used to be a home for both of us.
Myself and Mark have been doing a photo documentary for the past year on the community that resides in O'Devney Gardens.
And what it's been like to have grown up and lived in O'Devney Gardens and to what it's like now.
O'Devney for me was very much home. It was very much a safe community.
I was in O'Devney for 14 years, Mark, in the flat that I was in 167.
I grew up with a lot of people, made great friends, done a lot of things, got along great with people in O'Devney Gardens.
I'm in this area 29 years, 30 years. I worked in O'Devney Gardens for 2 years on a CE scheme with the women's group, and that was in 1994 with Lena Jordan and a lot of the other women.
I would have been the O'Devney Gardens Community Development Forum. We would have had a women's group, an after schools group, senior citizens group, and anything that the kid that was needed in O'Devney Gardens, that's where all the activity was done from 34.
O'Devney has been a great for everyone that grew up in it, like everyone gets along with each other, do you know what I mean? So I think it's a very good for everyone. It's like a big family.
Well, it's a great place to be in because you'll never be short of company here, that's for sure anyway, never.
Being here with me kids and up to the park and the people that lived around me, you know, it was just, as I said earlier, it's a community spirit it was, and it was great getting up, especially in the summer. You see the kids all running around and having a buzz.
We want to show the outsiders that have never lived in O'Devney Gardens that wasn't always a bad place to grow up in or to have lived in.
I reared the oldest children up in O'Devney. Every year in the summer there was a summer project for all the kids, you know what I mean? And the kids were always together. Because we lived in flats and you could go out on your balcony, there was always someone there. Like your mother was next door to me. She was my neighbour on the corner. We were only short of knocking down the wall and living together because, do you know what I mean? She was great to me, you know what I mean? And I was always there for her.
The people of O'Devney Gardens, and I know probably a lot of flat complex say this, but you couldn't have found a better bunch of people because you were just all down to earth.
Growing up was when we had all the clubs in the flats, especially when we had buddies around at the second block and we done the spray painting was great. And like you knew like you could, like the club was like a home basically. The people in it were like family to you. They helped you out of situations that you couldn't help yourself get out of, and everything was mainly based around O'Devney Gardens in the groups. Like you could go out and play football on where the poles are. You could go up to the pitch and play football when it wasn't full of glass and people didn't use it just to drive around motorbikes or drive rod cars onto. It was just great, the groups are just great.
As far as the O'Devney, I've never known anywhere where all old ladies could get off buses the last 25 or 30 years from bingo in the middle of the night and walk through here and feel safe as they did, which as far as I'm concerned the last number of years, where there's not many other places in Dublin they could do that.
Drives me to distraction, to be honest with you, Aoife. I take it very personally, because I know the people who they're talking about. I know the people who they make out to be lower than the rest of society, and it doesn't sit well with me.
I have always felt that we got the blame for everything. If something happened on the roads, that it was O'Devney's fault. Do you know, there was the kids over O'Devney. Well, even up to a couple of years back, I've seen pieces in the media, and they were talking about cars being vandalised on the roads.
Yeah.
And I think there was 4 or 5 tenants left in O'Devney Gardens at the time, and everything. There's not a kid left in it. and it was still getting the blunt what was going on in the surrounding area.
Well, back then, when it was at its peak, and people were going a bit mad on, as I said, on the head shop stuff. And I remember the media came out one day, and they think it was one of the TV companies, and they came out on a Tuesday, say, and they talked to all the lads, and then they asked the lads, were they coming in, were they going to be around tomorrow night, and what would they be doing? And they more or less suggested we'll be there to see your display of drinking and going mad. And I thought my opinion of them then was they were nearly paying the young people to turn up, you know, and to video this kind of stuff that they could, that they weren't going to get up to the next day, but they asked young people to turn up that night, and there they were filming them, and then it was on the news then the next day. So I had a kind of a low opinion of the media. They would hop on stuff that was good as well.
I think it's absolutely disgraceful the way they put O'Devney Gardens down in such a negatively way. I think it shouldn't be. Like, there's good and bad in every area, and I think every time something happened, they just always kind of was on top of that, but they never wrote the good stuff that happened in the area. It was always bad.
The bad stuff, yeah.
If there was a robbed car, or if there was a flat on fire, or an abandoned flat, or whatever it was, they always still wrote about that. They never wrote about the good things. Back in 2009, when they all done the football, and they all went up with what the youth club has done, they never involved the youth clubs.
No.
Give them credit for all the good stuff they've done over the years. So I think it's really, it's sad and bad as well, the way they acted.
Say if like I went to apply for a job and I said that I came from O'Devney Gardens, more than likely like you're going to be put down from the area you came from, because of all the bad things you hear. You
the
hear
bad reputation of it.
Yeah, you hear robbed cars, you hear drug use, you hear motorbikes, you hear people having fights, but that's not what happens all the time.
No.
Like every area you have robbed cars, every area you have...
every area has good and bad, definitely.
Like, but O'Devney Gardens was the place that I like to call home.
Well, the least fondest is probably when there was maybe a stolen car or something like that. You'd be afraid for the kids in case they got hurt or anything, you know, that way. Or drugs, anything like that. But it was such a good community and everybody was so close-knit that you wouldn't allow gangs on the stairs. We wouldn't let anyone, you know, hang around the stairs or anything where the kids were, just in case there was any drugs involved or needles or anything around. We always wanted to keep the kids safe.
You know, the robbed cars and the drugs and the raves and everything like that was obviously bad, but not in every case. The raves was for a good cause. And
yeah.
No, all the robbed cars, no, I didn't like that. I think it brought the area down. Other than that, it's a very good area.
The only bad thing for me would be when you're walking through the block late at night and you just see people down doing drugs. You know straight away as soon as you look down what they're doing. And it's not everybody in the flat. It's not even people who used to live in the flat. It's people from all different areas that's doing it. You just see people coming in and their fancy cars and staying there for 10 minutes and then driving back off. Like, you know what they're up to.
I suppose it would have been the old tenant leaving. A lot of the tenants, as I said, a lot of them went together, and there's a lot of empty flats. And as I said, the people just didn't give the same commitment to the flats as what the long-term tenant did. Yeah.
Getting rid of the place because I have so much memories, and it just doesn't feel the same.
It's not nice opening your hall door when you're nearly the last one in the blocks and seeing just stale shutters everywhere, you know. So this is my worst memory at the moment, having to leave the flats soon, you know.
The worst bit was not knowing the future, as I said, during the time when we thought the flats were being demolished and rebuilt, and things went downhill really quickly. And one of my worst memories was the head shops and the effect that the head shop drugs had on young people in the area, because we were all used to them stoned or messing with some class A's, but when head shop stuff came along, they were all turned into zombies, and there was a lot of violence and a lot of really young people taking stuff and that was kind of sad to watch. And I suppose not knowing the future then, they'd know where to go. Some of our youth service got kind of burnt out one day because we weren't using it as much as we could because the place became a bit unsafe and we were going out a lot, and one day we came back and it was torched. And I suppose some of the violence and some of the young people that I saw that died along the way, I still have little areas of O'Devney that I'd walk by and I think that's where so-and-so collapsed, or that's where I was told somebody was dead, or that kind of stuff. But I think the good memories outweigh the bad memories.
Yeah.
Most certain people I've met over the years, I'll never forget. Most of them past, and just people that have come and go over the years have given me great stories and given me great memories.
I suppose when the flats was full and there was so much going on in the area, and we had our women's group and we did all the children's groups, and we the the play schools, and mixing with the tenants, and and just there was a lot of we met President Mary Robinson.
Fondest memory, well, there's a few. Well, one would have been making this film that we made. It was called Sketch. We made it with Joe Lee, a filmmaker, and we had Jerry Lee, an actor who was actually a youth worker. He was in Father Ted in the first episode, so he was a laugh. So we made this film with our older age group, and it was the whole community got involved, and every day we were shooting scenes from it. Everybody came out to watch, so it was like a real film scene, like a set, and I suppose the whole the shops and the memories and the people are all there for me now on that film.
The 1990 World Cup, I have to mention that because I think the whole country was green, white and orange. But O'Devney Gardens, every balcony in O'Devney Gardens was green, white and orange, right? My father, Lord Mason, he was alive at the time, and he couldn't believe Jack Charlton brought us to the World Cup. The first man ever to bring us to the World Cup. Ireland, So we just celebrated and celebrated and celebrated. Do you know what I mean? And everybody was in good form, all on high, and they were bringing T-shirts out every week with different things because of what was going on and how far we were at the getting. My ma went out and she bought a tea caddy for our tea bags with Jack Charlton and all the scores on it and everything, So, that was a brilliant memory now, My father cried at the telly. The papers were green, white and orange, and it was just brilliant.
It was very community driven. I don't know whether you would remember, but the summer projects and stuff, we used to have them as well. There was playgrounds long before you were there as well. We had a big huge playground as well, so there was always stuff to do. It was always fun in O'Devney. The one memory that always comes back to me is summer times.
Yeah.
With the mas and dads all out in the block and the kids just playing, and a bit of music on and what have you, and kind of little street parties kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were all sitting in the office one day and I looked out the window and this little pig ran by the office, and then the lads ran by the office chasing it. And so what they'd done was they decided to go and get a pig to replace the horses. So eventually we convinced them that the pig wasn't a good idea, and they sold it back to the man in the shop and all the rest. But it was just things like that. Yeah. That they were really fond memories.
I suppose it's grown up in it. Grown up and the amount of friends and family that all came into it. As I said, if she wouldn't play with you, someone else would play with you. There was 51 children, and it was good that way. Yeah. It was a brilliant community, and it was open door. I could run along the bank knee into the Brazils next door, and I could get a bag of sugar for me ma. And there was an open door, really. Yes, and everybody looked out for you. You had 51 mothers and fathers, because you'd done nothing wrong. Somebody would take you to task for it. Yeah.
I think it was just gone when I wrote an article about O'Devney Gardens, when I went and took photos of it being torn down, and I wrote about it, and I got to put kind of a bit of personal life as well in it. That to be honest, there's too many fondest memories, but I think that was the best one because that'll always be remembered, and
And you knew that you'd done something to make a difference.
True.
Yeah. Walking through our Devney Gardens now, we're just walking through a building site. Myself and Mark don't know what to expect in the coming years.
For me personally, when I walk through or walk past Devney Gardens, it's just a kingdom of dust.
Now you don't really see anybody, you know.
Yeah.
It's gone so quiet, and you're not kind of mixing. You have to go outside of the area to meet people from the area. Do you know what I mean? It's different, and I suppose watching all the kids like yourself all after growing up, like I remember you as a baby. You know what I mean? It's strange, really. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of a strange. There's something missing. I'm trying to even put it into words how I feel about the changes. You could actually say it's lonely now.
Yeah.
You know, the area is lonely.
Yeah, it's very different because it just doesn't feel like home anymore. There's just nothing to do anymore.
Well, I mean, because the regeneration programme, most of the flats are gone now. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's going to be like when they build on it again, you know, but you're not going to get the same neighbours, I don't think, as we had up there.
Well, it's a bit late for us.
To say what we want.
There was loads of promises Mark made, and none of them was kept.
Yeah.
You know, I sat in the Dublin City Council probably in 1992, and I looked at the plans for the new playgrounds, and the blocks weren't coming down, and they were promising lots of. I've sat over the years, and probably a good few. I was on the committee, and I suppose I'm very disheartened. I think that's how I feel, sad and disheartened.
And how did it feel that when you seen them blocks being knocked down?
I felt like a piece of my heart was gone with it, because, you know, I grew up there. That was me home. I called that my home, you know, and I still do. But it was kind of sad to see them getting teared down.
I just think we were hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were so many promises, but I think they had our own agenda from the very beginning. Yeah. You know, there's too many empty promises, and I still am very sceptical about what's happening up there. We're sitting on prime land, as in one way, you know, and it could be a little money spinner up there.
It's not a case of what I'd like to see. It's going to happen one way or the other. This is going to be no remnants of O'Devney whatsoever when they're finished with it. There'll be nothing that resembles anything about O'Devney.
Realistically, what I want to see happening on O'Devney Gardens is that a community is built again, that we're able to have a community there again, so that works with the already surrounding communities, the likes of people in Montpellier, the likes of the people on Infirmary Road and Tor Place and all of that.
Yeah.
I'd like for them to knock the block down, to bring new things in, familiar faces to come back. We can all join together and get back to normal.
I'd love for the community to come back together. For the people to have the opportunity that moved away to come back to O'Devney Gardens.
I grew up and met a lot of good friends and a lot of good people in O'Devney Gardens, and I'd just love to see the community get back together one last time or something and have a big reunion.
I just want us all to move back in and everything to be the same again. But I'd like it to be kind of like the way it was, to see a close knit. You know what I mean? People close and looking out for each other. You know what I mean? A safe place. Yeah. Safe, like, you know.
Houses for the people that have moved away, or something for the community that was here.
Bring them back together.
You know, to bring them all back and have something, whether it's a hall or anything, especially for the younger kids, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I think they should do, you know.
I know what it's like to not have everything we wanted growing up, so I'd like to see that happen for the next generation growing up, of to have a youth centre and a football club, and, you know.
I'm looking forward to new people coming into the area. I just hope when the new people come into the area that there is a sense of community. Yeah. I hope it's not like that it's just strange, that I hope people interact with people, you know, and I hope there's a community centre and somewhere where people can start getting together again. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping it breathes new life into the area.
The best societies work when there's a mix of families, single people, senior cits, young people, that we have a mix there. We have a mix of houses, a mix of income, a mix of tenure.
What I would love to see is 100% public housing back on 12 acres of land, where there's a housing crisis out there, and it should have been housed for.
Here, they had the space for
social tenants.
Well, there is no Old Evany Gardens now, really. It's dispersed.
It's even sad to say that.
Yeah, it's very sad to say that. It's to be honest with you, it's a name on a sign now, you know what I mean? And that's just my perspective, because I'm watching it all deteriorating in front of me, where everyone from the outside now probably has a memories of Old Evany Gardens, so we're living off memories, but we're watching it, falling asunder, sort of,
I love going into the flats with the camera and just interviewing the people that have been there from the start, because I've heard stories that I've never heard in my life before. I've learned a lot of things about the flats that I never knew.
I'm glad that we came up and that we're actually involved, and at least we then can, in years to come, actually look back and see that we left Old Evany Gardens for something to remember.
Yeah.
Not
just let it go.
Not just let it go,
yeah.
And just to have memories to actually see, have footage, and have people's opinions as well as it.
We knew we had to take some sort of action to get awareness for Old Evany Gardens, to show people that it's not a bad place and that we deserve at least a good community and a good area. We deserve, because you hear of it's getting regenerated and everything, but you're hearing stories that there's just going to be high-rise apartments and nothing else, or there's just going to be a few houses and then the rest is going to be land. You're hearing so many things and you don't know what to believe. Where at least we know now that we're doing a project like this, and hopefully people who bought the land off the government, and see this video and realise how much we want something to be done, and realise that we didn't raise awareness for nothing.
Yeah.
As the quote used for Old Evany Gardens, you can knock us down, put us down, but you can't keep us down. And I think this has come to an end of an era.
You just say today, no, my name is Mark Harmon, to my left is Aoife O'Connor, then I'll say today myself and Mark are standing at this site, the building site. Go. Will you go?
It was there. Lads! Break the interview! Right, go ahead. Alright, Greg. Go.
1, 2.
So today I'm here alongside. No! I didn't even introduce you. I didn't even introduce myself.
Yeah, so you have to say today. No, my name is
Mark Harmon, and then my name is Mark Harmon. My name is Mark Harmon. My name is Mark Harmon. Did I say that twice? Did I say that twice? Right, how's that?
You need to stop doing this because I'm going with you. So I'm going still.
How's that?